All right, everybody. It's the Wisdom Warrior here, Darren Austin Hall, 100% human. And I just want to riff on a few things about the AI craze that seems to be happening right now. I see people posting, like, oh my God, AI wrote a poem. I had a conversation with AI. I'm like blown away. I just got to say, the poems are a little underwhelming. And some of the conversations with AI too, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not super impressed, I gotta say. And I just want to like point out a very important fact. AI is a robot. It's a robot. It's not a sentient life form with a soul. We have been infected with a mind virus called misanthropy, which means hatred of our humanity. It's a very old, tattered, frayed, long story that goes back through a lot of Abrahamic religions, different colonial powers, trying to convince us that human beings are originally sinful and flawed and kind of like a scourge that needs to be wiped off the face of the earth. Uh, that's bullshittery at its best. Human beings are incredible. We are divinely crafted from the goddess herself. Sophia, you might call her, Shakti, Mahashakti. We are a glorious species. And yes, we've had a dark, dark time of it in the last few thousand years, mainly because we've been infected by a predatory interdimensional species called the Archons. This is all in ancient literature. And we need to be aware of this, that we are right now in a bit of a spiritual war. And that doesn't mean we have to pull out our pitchforks and get violent. Not at all, actually. This is a warfare that is all about wisdom and evolving our consciousness and awakening the supreme powers of love and empathy and fierce compassion. But bear in mind that what we're seeing with AI is in some ways an exalting of our humanity, because when AI writes a poem or writes a song or composes something, uh, it's pulling it from the web of humanity, the web of knowledge that we pooled in the internet. So if anything, it's kind of like showing us how amazing we are and how resourceful we are in our human story, all the things that we've created that it's pulling upon. And I want to make another very important note here, and this is why ancient mythologies and pulling forth the ancient wisdom of our ancestors is so key right now, because some of the wisdom that our ancestors had was literally like persecuted, oppressed, and hidden away because there was demented aspects of our humanity that all of a sudden started to want to rule everyone else and started to suppress, and there was this whole war on consciousness limiting us so that we become these like polite little serfs and do as we were told, because a liberated sovereign human being is the greatest threat to anyone who is megalomaniac enough to want to start an empire and rule over others in a dominator hierarchy system, which is what we've been dealing with. So I want to point out that in the Nag Hammadi library, they discuss, and I've been sharing this a lot. If you don't know what the archons are, at the end of this video, there's going to be a little link to a whole talk I give about the archons. But basically, the mystery schools of Eurasia described in great depth that we had an adversary in our midst that we're dealing with on an interdimensional level. There are cosmic demented cousins. They're not evil, but they are mentally handicapped. They're insane. They don't have the same, what they called epinoa or divine light that we have as being crafted beings from the god and the goddess. Sophia and her consort, which apparently gave birth to us in the galactic center, the Pleroma. Again, 2,000-year-old wisdom, probably much older than that. John Lemlash says this dates back 40,000 years to Magi in Persia. Who knows? But the archons are very much described, and they are described as these two kind of species of life. One looks like gray-headed aliens with big black eyes. They're kind of the drones. And the others are these kind of like reptilian, lizard, lion, dragon-esque characters who are kind of like the alphas, the predatory ones. And they don't like humans because they're jealous of us. They see that we have all this beautiful virtue and soul power. So one of the characteristics of the archons that is very key to understanding AI is they have the ability to make copies and replicate what humans do, mimicry. But they don't have the ability to create anew, to innovate, to pioneer. Everything that they do is a cheap copy of what we have created. Remember that as AI continues to get rolled out. This is truly an expression of archontic intelligence that has been projected through compromised human beings, and AI is really just a cheap copy of human consciousness. And the reason why so many people are in awe, and this is my theory of AI, which kind of frustrates me on one level. I feel like an utter like kind of disgust when I see people like, oh, look how amazing AI is. It's a robot. We're friggin' amazing. We're so amazing. And our amazingness has just been abused, beaten down, suppressed for so long that when we're presented of some like cheap copy of ourselves, we laud it as if it is this kind of glorious new savior. And that's not to say that AI will, if it's used appropriately, have a beautiful opportunity to integrate itself in our society, as our human society, as a computational tool. Like, amazing. With all the digitization of our reality, it would be amazing to just have like a gigantic calculating robot that can help us rationally figure out things on that side of the spectrum. But when it comes to the human soul, our sensuality, our sensitivities, our artistry, our ability to innovate, be pioneers, be creative, which is the spirit of the age of Aquarius, and the dark side of it is obviously the dark misuse of technology. That is what I want to emphasize. We need to right now, before this kind of AI game, because there is an agenda here to convince humans that we are kind of obsolete. And you can just read the transhumanists, they literally talk about this, how, hey, let's start changing the human genome and like deal with all these imperfections that we have from being originally sinful, all this religiosity that's like gone underground, but is still the foundation of a lot of materialist secular science. We need to resist that at every friggin' turn. More than ever, we need to actually revere our humanity right now. And there's no better way to get in touch with the glory and the beauty and the truth of your humanity than to spend time with your mother. And who's your mother? Your mother is the earth. Get out to nature, less tech time, more time in nature. Be in the reflection of yourself, your glorious, beautiful, divine, eternal soul. Get in contact with that. Get in contact with your communities. Realize how glorious our humanity is. In the mystery schools, they would actually go and confront the archons in the fifth dimension, in the higher dimensions, and they would say that in those confrontations, it was very key because the archons are very deceptive, manipulative beings, and they would try and convince humans that we were created by them. We were genetically engineered by them. Again, bullshit. And the mystery school adepts, the great initiates, would say that in those crucial moments, it was important for the adept to state, no, I come from the goddess, I come from source, I am sovereign. You have no sovereignty over me, to the archons. Remember this stuff. This is the background of what is going on right now in our world. I'm not fear mongering here. I'm kind of also tired of people saying, oh, people are fear mongering about AI. There's a huge difference between just being intelligent and critiquing things than being a fanatical fear monger, which I am not. Okay, we got to get smart. We are up against the wall with a very complex propaganda system, mind control system that is being rolled out in a pinnacle form right now. And it's a great opportunity to flex our human soul, our human glory, and to honor AI as a beautiful, amazing robot, and to also honor our humanity as an amazing, magnificent, divine being that has crafted these epic robots, which will be great utilities for our world, not replacing humanity at all, because there ain't no AI cyborg that's going to write a poem like Leonard Cohen or Dylan Thomas and make music like Jimmy Page and Robert Plant. It'll make a cheap copy of it, which on a level be like, oh, that's kind of cool. That robot can like make a cheap kind of copy, but it'll never ever be able to do something better than human beings. Don't forget that. Fight back against misanthropy. As I like to say, actually, it's time to free the unicorn, and the unicorn is symbolic of our beautiful, liberated, unique human self. We got to free that unicorn now more than ever and show ourselves and the goddess Sophia how friggin' amazing we are, and thank her so much for creating and crafting the beautiful truth of our humanity. Whew! I'll also share, if you enjoy this content, if you enjoy this, of course, subscribe here to my YouTube channel. And I also have an amazing course I put out called Honor All Creation, The New Earth Journey. 22 songs I made on this double album, Honor All Creation, which you can stream now on all the platforms. And then I've gone and made this amazing course. This is kind of the flagship course for the Gaia Awakening Institute, this mystery school that I'm slowly developing. And this gives you an overview of a lot of the ancient wisdom I've been studying, coupled with beautiful art, music, spiritual practices, and 22 wisdom teaching videos, all shot in beautiful Costa Rica. So there's a link down below for that as well. Be glorious. Free the unicorn.